Let's see if we can go the full time.
All right, we're live.
Are we live? Oh, hey, what's going on?
So welcome to the first, probably of many, hangouts with your community managers. As you know, I'm Jennifer, and this is Cade, and our new community manager, Chad, all the way out in LA.
Yeah, I was going to throw out some West Coast signs, and I realized that's a really bad idea.
Yeah.
What's going on, guys? Nice to meet everyone who's watching.
Yeah. So, this is just a hangout to get to know us. Feel free to ask us any questions you would like. There is a handy question and answer app that I put on this Google Plus Hangout, so you can feel free to ask us questions and we'll get to them. Or you can also comment on the Google Plus thread, because we'll also be monitoring that, but we'd prefer it if you put the questions in the app because it's easier for us to see.
Right.
There, you can really ask us anything you like,
Yeah.
and if we don't want to
There's
answer...
nothing off topic.
Yeah, right? And I guess to get us started, because the live streams are generally about 2 to 3 minutes behind, real time, I guess we should get started by introducing our newest community manager, Chad. Why don't you introduce us?
That's me.
Yeah, that's you. Why don't you introduce yourself a little bit, tell us where you came from, how you got into YouTube maybe in the first place.
Sure. Let's see. How did I get started? I have my history is I'm from Indiana, where nothing exciting happens. So if you're from the Midwest and an internet person, I feel for you, and I will help you out as much as I can. I got lucky enough when I was in college in Indiana to get an internship at Cartoon Network, which is very cool because it's hard to get any jobs in animation, let alone in California, and we're in the Midwest. And that opened up some friendships and connections enough that when I was out of college, I said, even though I don't have a job, I'm going to move out here to the country, to California. And I started working at an animation studio called 6 Point Harness, which is a Flash studio out here. I just worked there for a little while in animation, and then I started working in video games, and that led me to working over at a YouTube network like Frederator called Maker, and the gaming section called the Game Station. That's kind of how I got into YouTube side, where it was helping people make video games and animation, and then oh, there's this whole other side of content. That was a couple years ago, and I've just been getting more and more into the cartoon. I was already always loved cartoons, right? I think everyone here on this company has just grown up with them. It seems like I can drop a SWAT Cats reference, and that seems to go okay, which I really like. But yeah, and I've just come over to Frederator. Is that a good paragraph explanation of where I came from? I could have gone more in my childhood.
Yeah, I mean there are a few grammatical issues and run-on sentences. That's a pretty decent paragraph.
Did he mention Polaris and all that stuff before? I don't know.
You cut out for a little bit.
Oh, sure. The internet might be a little spotty bouncing from the West Coast to New York. Yeah, I worked previously with Polaris, also known as the Game Station, which is a gaming side of YouTube. There's also a little bit of animation there. Did any of that make it through?
Kinda.
Yeah, we heard the Game Station and all that stuff. Someone asked, what school in Indiana did you go to, Chad? It's Sam L2F.
Oh, hey, Sam. I went to Indiana University, which is the main state college, and there's 5 or 6 around there. But I went to the main one, which has really, really good pizza and not a good basketball program anymore.
It also says Jim Davis is from Indiana.
Yes. Legendary cartoonist Jim Davis. I don't think has drawn Garfield in 10 years anymore, I don't think. But Jim Davis, we have David Letterman, Larry Bird, Jane Pauley, who used to host a show called Dateline, which I realize isn't around anymore, as a very old TV reference. I think that's it. I think that's all Indiana has.
Indianapolis 500.
Yeah.
Indianapolis
500.
Indianapolis 500 is pretty good. That's about it. We have a lot of good corn.
Jersey has good corn too.
Really?
So
we could do a taste test. I mean, if you want to know about Indiana, the motto of the state is called the Crossroads of Indiana, which means that the state is just something you drive through. It just means you just get to other more exciting places by driving through Indiana.
You know, Indiana sounds like a lot like New Jersey, where I grew up, because New Jersey's pretty much one giant parkway as well, which is a highway, but a parkway. I don't know.
That's a good segue to talk about you, Jen.
Oh, me? Well, I was going to answer this question.
But you can answer questions.
Christy behind your shoulder.
Yes.
That is
Christy.
That is indeed
right
Christy.
Here. I can poke her.
Yes.
From far away.
Doesn't even know who's there. But yeah.
Oh, and
good catch.
And Sam Ellis gave a shout out to Ball State. Yeah, Ball State is like if a small college in Indiana that David Letterman came from, and it's like the most associated with like TV production. So I'm assuming Sam came from there. Maybe we'll see. Yeah, that's the kind of the cool one.
Okay. Mr. Chambers, is this working? I'm hoping it's working.
Oh yeah, John Mellencamp. Sorry. Sam's just throwing out like other good famous Indiana people I forgot about.
Maybe he's from Indiana too. I don't know.
So much Indiana love in this.
So I guess a little about me, maybe. So I'm Jen. I work here at Frederator. I've been working on YouTube for about 5-6 years now. I used to work at another much smaller network earlier before this, along with Matt Keelan, who is the head of our audience development here at Frederator, and then he pulled me over to the channel Frederator Network, which I really like and enjoy a lot. I grew up in New Jersey, in like the middle of nowhere, pretty much Pennsylvania area, where it was all farmland and cows and all that type of stuff. So before you ask, yes, I'm a Jersey girl, but I don't have a Joyzy accent. What else? I mean, I grew up in New Jersey. I went to school in New York City for graphic design. I went to Parsons School for Design. And I became a graphic designer, and when I first worked at Frederator, I was a graphic designer, and then they told me I was really bad at it.
No, that's not true. They did not.
But I'm really good at community management, and I enjoy talking, and I like meeting people and helping you all out in that way, and I was pretty good at understanding YouTube and the algorithms, so then they moved me on from being a graphic designer to being a community manager along with Cade and now Chad, which I enjoy greatly, and it'll be coming up on 2 years for me in January at Frederator.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I have lots of extracurricular activities.
Yes, a very big one. You haven't mentioned yet.
The main one is I play roller derby. I'm on an international level team. We're actually the top team in the world right now, Gotham Girls Roller Derby, and we are going to championships in Nashville. Yeah, and on Halloween, which will be live streamed. So if y'all want to watch me play roller derby and kick some girls' butts, you can totally log on and see me play.
Well, if they're in Nashville, can they go?
Yeah, they can go. You can buy tickets. It's going to be in a huge convention stadium. It's going to be really big.
That'd be awesome.
Our team's going for their 60th straight win in a row. Working on it.
But you weren't part of the first 59.
No, I was part of the last 7.
There you go.
All leagues out here. If I didn't want to be like completely trumped by the fact that you're in a #1 ranked roller derby team. Because we don't win often.
What, Indiana?
No, the dodgeball leagues I play in out here. I was going to mention those.
Yeah,
it's not as cool as her, like world-renowned.
But
yeah, dodgeball is still a completely legitimate app.
Like it was illegal growing up.
What do you mean?
Yeah, like we weren't allowed to play dodgeball growing up.
It's illegal?
Like some kid died or something. I don't know.
That's crazy.
I don't remember. I just remember we couldn't play it in school anymore.
That's such a great urban myth.
I feel like it is an urban myth.
I couldn't, like, one year we could play and it was a gym thing, and then the next year, like no one allowed us to play.
No more dodgeball.
It was crazy.
That's funny.
No, I do remember that. Gym got easier and easier where it was just like kind of like, hey, just walk around. I remember one year all we could do was walk around the gym and do laps, but we couldn't even like run. We had to just kind of like hang out and mingle.
So cool. I mean, let's see if we have any questions to answer.
So real quick, guys, the question and answer thing is not for comments. It's not a commenting. It's a questions only app.
Yeah.
So a lot of you are using it for comments. And if you want to comment on the video, go to the Google Plus page that you should be reading this on, and there should be like a comment section to go by. But thank you all for being.
Yeah, but we do have some questions here though.
Yeah. So Drew knows that I play roller derby, and he knows my derby alias, which is Misty Maven.
I do think Boom goes.
You don't use your real name in derby. You use a fake name. So my name's Misty Maven, and he asked if I enjoy knocking other ladies off their skates, and yes, I do.
Of course, that's the whole point of roller derby.
Everyone has a little. Everyone has a little aggression to get out now and again. And derby is my way of getting that out.
And I guess we answered Matt Gardner's question, which is, what's your derby name?
Yes.
Misty Maven.
Misty Maven, that's me, number 1706.
Right.
So you can see me.
And then we also...
Is that a reference?
What?
He said it's a reference.
People are obsessed about coffee. I am obsessed about tea. Like, I have at least 20 cups a day. I'm not even kidding. And then Maven, I like Maven because it means expert, but like the connotation of expert also means someone who likes to teach someone else, like pass on their knowledge onto others. So I just like Misty Maven. It was cool. And the 1706 is one of my favorites.
It sounds cool. I like it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Very cool. Is there any questions over there though, or?
No.
Because that's auto refreshing.
Yeah, this is auto refreshing, so that's good. Okay. So, Cade.
And Cindy, we are reading everything. We're reading everything. We're reading the Google Plus, and we're reading the Q&A thread. So, and J.M. Rushlow says this question thread, or is it comments too? We like to stick to questions. That way, it's easier for us to interact with you guys versus just reading comments. I think it's a little easier. So, if you have something specific you want to ask Chad or Jen or myself or anything about the network, feel free to do so. We can answer it. Otherwise, well, that's funny. Well, that's a Toy Pizza related question that we'll get to after I do my quick little spiel. So my name is Cade Heiser. I also worked here at Frederator for almost 2 years, coming up on 2 years. Actually, next month, October, will be my 2-year Frediversary. I just coined that term.
Frediversary.
I just coined that term just now. So yeah, happy about that. Definitely happy to be working here. I found my way up here. Well, before that. I went to school at University of Houston. It took me like 5.5 years to complete school because I went to film school in the middle, film school dropout. I have a communications degree, and at the start of my college career, I started a YouTube channel back in 2007 called Cade Goes to College, and I gained about 40,000 subscribers. And over that course of 5 years, I just did YouTube on my own, and that's sort of where I got all of my YouTube experience. Making relationships and contacting people all across the world, and so that's where the bulk of my YouTube experience comes from. And then I moved up to the Great Northeast, New York City, and started interning at Frederator because I've always loved cartoons, and it just so happened that they were doing Cartoon Hangover and the Channel Frederator Network around that time, and they're like, wow, we need all these people, with YouTube experience and stuff like that. So I was just like a really good fit for the company at the time. So then they hired me, and I did social media for them initially, and then I transitioned into doing community management, which is where I've been since probably the start of this year, I would say. Probably about January I've been doing community management. So that's where we're at now. And a lot of you probably have seen me on Cartoon Hangover, where I do a lot of hosting of that stuff, and maybe some of you have seen a channel that I'm also on called Toy Pizza, which is currently at about 18,000 subscribers, and it's basically just like a toy review channel. So that's another thing that I do outside of Frederator. But generally, that's all me.
You should mention how you're like the person to go to for Nintendo questions.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I'm a huge Nintendo fan. I mean, I pretty much know everything about Nintendo. Whether it's old or new, I'm pretty up to date on everything. That's like another one of my favorite things outside of work. And the fact that we kind of work with them every now and then is always really fun. But I see J.M. Rushlow asked, did Cade ever find those new comic book Ninja Turtles yet? No, I'm still looking. I'm looking for them. They're not. I don't know. They haven't hit shelves yet. They're supposed to come out this month, and this month is almost over. So, yeah.
What is special about these specific Ninja Turtles?
Well, basically, the original Turtles all had red bandanas, right? It wasn't until the animated series and the new Playmates line that they started doing colored bandanas and the letters on their belts. But the original comic book series, they had all red bandanas. They didn't have the letters on their belts. So Playmates is now releasing these comic collection Turtles, is what they're calling them. It's sort of like a throwback. And they're new molds, so they're not the same molds that they're using for the current line. And they're pretty cool. And even though they all look very similar because they all have red bandanas, I still want at least one of them because I think they're pretty awesome. Drew asked, how many toys do you have, Cade? I actually don't have that many because they take up so much room. I have a ton on my actual desk, but not that many at home. I'd probably say, obviously growing up I had a bunch, but right now, probably 10 toys, yeah. 10 to 15 maybe.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean if you count my desk, 30.
Are you gonna get the new
toys.
Nintendo the little?
Nindoroid?
No, the
little
statue
Amiibo.
things.
Amiibo, yeah.
Oh, the Amiibos, those crazy things.
Yeah, I'll definitely be getting a couple of Amiibos. The problem is I think they're going for about $12. They're retailing for that much. So I really want to be kind of particular on which ones I'm getting. I need to see them in person though, but I'll definitely be getting a couple of those.
The problem with those is Disney Infinity. I don't know if Cade or Jenny, you guys play Disney Infinity. Is oh cool, I'm gonna get Wreck-It Ralph, and I'm gonna get Jack Skellington, and then you have your living room has 25 action figures all placed along it that you need to play your video game.
Well, see, that's the problem. That's why I make sure I don't have that many toys. I'm very selective. Does this actually look nice on its own? So yeah.
I very terribly hide my Disney Infinity figurines in a box, like a sad Toy Story sequel, because I don't want them out that much in the open. It's a little too much.
That's awesome.
To answer Drew's question really quick, that was so nicely worded. Drew, the bearded ginger, as you nicely said, is actually Chad, one of our new community managers who we're super excited to work with. He did his introduction a little bit earlier. So you can rewatch this live stream after it's live on the network and see how this whole introduction. But he used to work with Flores.
I would like to argue over the wording of a ginger, because this is a conversation we had at lunch, and that I am not a ginger. I have a red beard.
You can hear Jenny in the background.
Hair.
You are a ginger.
No, this was an intense discussion, so thank you very much. But the server at our restaurant said I had brown hair.
Red. It's a reddish brown. Definitely a red-brown.
It's an auburn. It's an auburn.
Auburn is brown.
It's brown, mostly brown, less red. Sorry. This is not what this live stream is supposed to be about.
It's all good.
You can hear Jenny and a few of our other associates in the background arguing with Chad over in LA.
This is a very intense one. Should we talk about Inktober? I saw Sam asked about Inktober, which I actually follow a lot of people on Tumblr who do it. I didn't realize how coordinated or anything it was, but I've just seen a few of my own artist friends do it.
So for those of you not familiar, maybe Chad, you can tell us a little bit about Inktober?
Here's the thing. I was hoping that you guys also do, because my friends do Inktober, but I don't actually know the full layout. I mean, as far as I understand of Inktober, it's that everyone does individual sketches and stuff purely just out of ink pens, and they don't do any pencil work beforehand, and just an excuse to do kind of fun sketches that they wouldn't normally do. But that might not be the actual point of Inktober, so maybe I'm wrong.
So maybe Sam in the
maybe Sam can tell us if I'm wrong.
Yeah, maybe Sam, you could in the comment section provide a little bit more details for Inktober.
I'll read it off the website. I found it off the website.
Oh, perfect, Chad. Make it happen.
Good job.
I'll just say it as if I recall, Inktober. I'm so glad you asked. Inktober is every October, artists all over the world take on the Inktober drawing challenge by doing one ink drawing a day the entire month. So it started in 2009. I know a few of my artist friends do it just because the idea of just starting with an ink pen, it kind of challenges them in the way because they can't make mistakes, so it changes how they draw and that sort of thing. But I think it's a fun little artist challenge, a one-a-day thing.
Okay, cool. So, and it's not even October yet, so this is plenty of heads up for all you how to draw people. All you speed painters, everyone out there who does Sam said, watch me draw type videos. This is a great tentpole event, a month-long one. Perfect for you people out there. So you should totally make it happen. I mean, it's gonna beef up your channel library. That's 31 videos you can knock out, and you just have to start thinking of ideas now, though. That's a lot of content.
And it also helps with the slight changes we've been talking about with the YouTube algorithm, how it's going to be favoring more heavily on frequency of uploads.
Yeah.
So those channels that upload once a day, twice a day, are going to get favored a little bit more in the algorithm than people that only upload once a month.
Yeah.
So doing things like Inktober, short little sweet videos, is definitely going to favor you in the YouTube algorithm in the long run. But also, what we're going to talk about what's happening in October and November is we're going to do another collaboration, a lot like the collaborations we've been doing in the past. If you're currently working on the 500 strong collaboration, that's awesome. The only funny thing about that is that we have way over 500 now. We have like 800.
Yeah.
So like we're still working on the 500 strong collaboration, but it's growing so quickly that we should be working on the 1,000 collaboration soon. But anyway, that's not what we're going to be working on. We're going to be working on a funner Pokemon collaboration, which we're going to go into detail a lot. Yeah. Also, fun fact, all of us here on this hangout are super Pokemon nerds.
It's true.
So we're really excited for Omega and Alpha Omega coming out on November 21st. So we're going to do like a tentpole collaboration revolving around fake Pokemon.
Fake Pokemon, That one, I'm really excited about that, and everyone should take part in it. We're going to have more details really soon. But, just real quick about the Inktober, one thing I did want to mention real fast was that, like, not only are you having 31 new videos that you can be posting on your channel, but you also have basically 31 days of social media content, right? And I know a lot of you people, I don't want to say you people because that's really mean, but a lot of you out there, a lot of you animators, you have trouble with the social media side of things. And it's really hard to, like, promote yourself. I know that. But, when you have that finished drawing, just post it on Facebook, post it on Tumblr with a link to the video, and it will benefit you so much. So just wanted to say that. But also the collaboration, that's really exciting. So start thinking of a fake Pokemon.
Yeah, a fake Pokemon that you can animate. So it's definitely something that we're going to be doing. We're going to be posting a lot more details about it a little later, but so those of you kind of know what's happening. So that'll be me and Chad primarily working on it. And yeah, so I guess we'll answer the next question from Mr. Chambers, who is there any chance of hiring animators for work animation jobs within the network? So we don't.
I don't know. I understand the question.
I think he's asking, like, are you asking for like working on Cartoon Hangover things?
We should probably just answer both sides of it, I guess.
Yeah.
I was interpreting it as more like production work, but yeah, let's go ahead and answer both sides.
Well, I can give my take, and then if you guys have something to add. So generally, for Cartoon Hangover, we work on crew is already set, basically. For being Puppy Cat, when the Kickstarter was funded, we immediately got our crew, and it was a lot of like Natasha's close friends, people that she's worked with in the past, possibly on Adventure Time, or just in general that she's worked with, people that she wanted to kind of help bring that project to life, and people that she had similar tastes with. So both of those productions for Cartoon Hangover related projects are already, in the works. We already have people set up for that. And generally, for Frederator, getting those teams built is just like any other animation studio, right? It's just like you apply, you send in your resume, and I think when we have future productions, looking towards the network members for talent like that is probably something we'll definitely be looking into. Cartoon Hangover and the Channel Frederator Network, they do operate separately, right? They are under the same umbrella, but they are two separate entities in general, right? But we all work in the same building, so we're all very close together. So we are trying to figure out ways we can get the network members more involved with some of our original production. But obviously at this time, like I said, the Beam Puppy Cat and the Bravest Warriors crews are set and they're under production. Now, in terms of work for, because the question says for work animation for jobs within the network, on the Channel Frederator network side of things. Well, we mentioned the collaboration. I think that's a great way to get involved. I think getting involved with everything that we're doing, whether it's like meetups in the area, whether it's, these hangouts like this, if it's a collaboration, maybe if it's collaborations outside of the ones that we set up, if you're starting to interact with other members, any of that kind of stuff, just getting your name out there, getting more involved, I think all of that stuff can only benefit you in the long run, right? We were talking earlier about getting involved with bigger animators on YouTube and collaborating with them. And the way they find people that are smaller on YouTube, animators, is just by seeing them actively working in other projects, right? They'll say, wow, this guy is really talented. He's been in this video. He's worked on this video. He's done this. I want him to work on my project, right? So I think really just applying yourself, dedicating yourself to getting involved in as many projects as you can, all that sort of stuff can only benefit you in the long run. And I don't know if that really answers your question, but I'm sure maybe Jen and Chad have something to add to that.
Well, I mean, I think you did a really good idea, a really good job of explaining it, is that Channel Frederator, Cartoon Hangover are separate under the Channel Frederator network umbrella, and a lot of the showrunners for Bravest Warriors, BM Puppy Cat, already have friends who are animators who already want to work on it. So that's the hardest thing with animation is who you know and who you can get in touch with. That being said, like, we can put anyone in touch with our VP of development, production.
Mm-hmm. Both.
Who's Eric?
They're both,
yeah.
Kevin and Eric.
Yeah, so like getting in touch with Kevin and
Okay.
Eric, who deal with a lot of the hiring.
Mm-hmm.
And we can't guarantee work, we can't
Mm-hmm.
guarantee jobs, but we can definitely get you in touch with those people who can then put you in the right direction.
Yeah.
Because Cade and I aren't really involved in production. We're involved with the whole like oversight of the network and you guys in general. But Eric and Kevin can definitely start pointing you guys in the right direction. And I know, as Fred would say, if you really want to
Yep.
be involved in production and an animator, you need to be in LA.
You got to move to LA
Yeah.
if you want to work for a studio. That's what he would say. Now, if you want to work on your own, work on your own.
I think there's like
do that anyway.
I think there's like one animation studio left in New York, and maybe that's even not around anymore. I'm trying to remember the original stand, but yeah, it's so heavily based in.
Well, there's Titmouse and Blue Sky. I don't think is here, but they're they're not in LA. But
yeah, there was one. I forgot the name of the one. The guys who were doing Ugly Americans. I forgot. They were New York based, but I think they actually might have either moved or something. I'm totally forgetting on their name. But yeah, it's definitely LA heavy. And I'll reiterate too what you guys were saying too. I think beyond just even like big old Frederator jobs too. I think something that's really exciting beyond collaborations ideas that if anyone in the network is doing a big project where they really are trying to get something done on time, is kind of allowing people to basically be like, I just need someone who can do backgrounds for me. Like, I can pay X amount of dollars, and like finding kind of essentially like freelance for everyone else in the network and letting people like kind of empower each other and also give each other a little bit of work. I think that's a model I've seen a lot of animators do already, and I think that's something the network can totally do. I'm excited to help people out with.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Thanks, Chad.
Maybe any of that came through. I never know how much the internet connection is,
No,
is
we
disconnected
got all of
in
that.
some of the
We'll
my
tell
words.
you if it
Yeah, no, we got all of that. Thank you. We actually have like a lot of questions, so be patient with us. We're totally gonna knock through all
Which
of them.
one do we want to
I don't
talk
know.
about?
Maybe just start at the bottom or
Alright,
something.
start on the bottom, work our way up. Okay, so Drew Bates asks, the network has grown so much, which, oh my gosh, it has,
Yeah.
but it's still naked in terms of original cartoon concepts. Any plans for strategies for more original concepts? I don't agree with his. I don't think it's naked for original cartoon concepts because the network as a whole is you guys. It's. I think. Do we have 800 people in the network now? 7 something.
It's close enough where I think we can say.
All right, we're gonna say it's 800. It might not quite be there.
Pretty
but,
close.
Huh? What, Chad?
Oh, just saying, pretty close. Pretty close.
It's really close. So, like, that's 800 original channels with like different shows on each channel. So it's and the point of the network is to showcase you guys, not for us to create our own content from the network and then just promote that. We are in charge of promoting you guys. Now, if your question is more geared towards Channel Frederator and Cartoon Hangover is our own production. And because, as all of you know, how long and how hard and how expensive animation is, like, we can't really churn out original concepts that fast. But that being said, we have Bravest Warriors, BM Puppy Cat, Rocket Dog, Our New Electrical Morals. We have like all these shorts that we've produced for pretty quickly for the short amount of time we've been around, like just a few years, not even.
Yeah.
And then Channel Frederator is also, we also have our own content, which is like Cartoon Conspiracy, and we used to have Toon Buzz, and I used to have a show for a little bit, if y'all remember. Don't remember, it's not that good. And Cade's Toy Pizza that we re-upload on there. So that's all original.
Oh.
Yeah, so, but Channel Frederator is also a main platform for promoting you guys as well, which is also all original content. So I don't really agree with you saying that it doesn't have original cartoon concepts. Cartoon concepts that we pay for and that we produce and distribute strictly on our own is Cartoon Hangover. But everything else, we really want to promote you guys as a network and your skills, which we have. There's so many of you. It's amazing.
Yeah, I think going off of that, Chad, Jen, and myself, all three of us have been really brainstorming on ways that we can get you guys more involved, not only with your own stuff and start making more stuff for yourself for your YouTube channel, really get your stuff out there, but also with each other, right? Because the whole point of the network is to bring all of you independent animators together and really work on some really cool projects and get some really stuff out the door onto YouTube, right? So we're trying to come up with some ways to get a lot of you guys working together, and if anyone has any ideas other than the collaborations that we're putting together, then let us know. But also, it's all about networking, right? And I know it's really hard, but you just got to get out there, put yourself out there. Like I said, come to the meetups if you can, come to these hangouts, start introducing yourself to people, get involved in a project so you can start developing original content with other people, right? Start working on projects with other people. I think that's a really good thing for everyone to do on YouTube. It's really important.
And speaking of networking, I know youtube.com/FluffyPro has been very hard at networking himself out to you guys. So if you want to work with him with anything, he is very much into working with people. He was in on my YouTube Best Practice Hangout today, and he asked a lot of really good questions, so that's good. So, Chad, did you have anything you wanted to add about the original content question?
I mean, kind of what you guys are already about to hit, but just the idea that we are working on, well, they're not original cartoons, but on original shows we can do for channel Frederator that help spotlight your guys' stuff and other stuff in the vein of animation, and so that you guys are still involved. So they're technically original shows, but they're still based around you guys as a network, and they're not animated because we can't animate. Actually, I don't know, Jen, maybe you can animate.
I can do flipbook animation, but I can't, I can draw, but I learned a little bit of Flash. I made a stick figure animation a really long time ago at Intro to Adobe or whatever it was. But not really. I'd love to learn After Effects.
I think that's enough. I think we can make it work.
Yeah, I could. We can do flipbooks. Flipbooks are awesome. We have a channel in the network that's only flipbook, and it's pretty awesome stuff.
That's great. What should we ask next?
Really quick. Scroll back up, Cade. We do accept pitches for two cool cartoons. So if you have a cartoon pitch that you want to pitch to be on Cartoon Hangover, you just send them to eric@frederator.com, and we will accept your pitches, and we'll review them and go for them, and maybe greenlight them
but before you email Eric, you got to make sure you have your stuff together. So just do a quick Google and type in how to pitch to Cartoon Hangover, and one of the first couple links will be a lot of information on exactly what we're looking for and how to present it to Eric. So before you just blindly email him, try and get some stuff prepared to properly formatted before you send it his way. That way, it's much more clear what you're trying to pitch to him. So be sure to Google how to pitch a Cartoon Hangover. It's the first or second thing that comes up. So thank you for that question.
I can pick the next question too.
Okay, sure. Dismiss, always active in Hangouts and stuff like that. Asks, we noticed YouTube is on a 3DS. Is that something to look into producing content for? We have a close relationship with Nintendo, actually. We're on the platform Nintendo Video, where Cartoon Hangover uploads every week a new cartoon. Well, technically it's not new to the YouTube channel, but it's new to the Nintendo 3DS viewers. So we ran all of Season 1 and Season 2 of Bravest Warriors. We ran every Too Cool short. We ran a lot of promos. Now we're currently running Cartoon Conspiracies, which is the channel Frederator show. And we've been trying to look into getting more of the network members involved into that platform, and it's something we're trying to work out and experiment. And so that is something we're looking into right now, and we want to have that be another avenue for promotion for you guys.
It's an interesting idea. I don't know if this meant it that way, but essentially the idea that if you were making YouTube videos specifically for people watching it on the 3DS, I haven't seen anyone do that. I guess that idea would be if you did YouTube videos that were specifically for when you're playing Pokemon, so that you could put them up on your 3DS and that'd be easier. Mm-hmm. The closest example I could think of would be there are a lot of, on the gaming side, there are a lot of YouTube channels that sprung up that just kind of built themselves around on mobile gaming, and it was specifically how to play games for mobile, and it was optimized for mobile phones, just assuming you're on the subway and you're looking at the strategy or something, and it was built for those people. So it's a very niche kind of change in how you build your videos around, if that makes any sense. But I don't know. I wonder if there's any potential into specifically like designing your videos around like, hey, you're watching it on the 3DS and not on your computer. I don't know if there's any reason to make it, if it's stronger, to actually go that way.
So we'll let Chad finish that up, and then I got another question here in a second. I read you. Chad.
Back.
Let's go, Chad.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, you cut out a little bit.
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
You cut out at the very end of your speech.
Oh, I was just saying the idea of like specifically doing video formats that are built around assuming that they're watching it on the 3DS versus like just making it general for all devices.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's necessarily stronger. Might be someone who will eventually crack that code. It's an interesting idea, though.
It is an interesting idea. Cool. Thank you, Chad. So here, Cindy has another question. Will you guys be going to New York Comic Con this year? Yes, absolutely, 100%. We will be there probably every day. We actually want to do a network-wide meetup for everyone who will be in the New York area or at New York Comic Con. So either email me, Jen, or Chad, any of us, preferably me or Jen, because we're actually going to be here in New York at and around Comic Con. So because we're New York based, in case you guys missed the first half, we're New York based and Chad is LA based.
East Coast versus West Coast.
Correct. So yeah, please email us if you're going to New York Comic Con. We want to coordinate a meetup for you guys. We want to hang out. We want to talk to you in person. You know, whatever. So if you're going, let us know, please. We want to hang out.
Absolutely. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be huge.
It will be
it gets so much bigger every year.
It will be ginormous.
Ginormous.
Okay, cool. So what else? What other questions do we have?
Yeah, and if you wanna ask us questions that are more like directed at me, Chad, and Cade have now.
That's when we fuse together like DBZ.
Yeah, we're fused, right? Yeah, we do the fusion dance.
This is Cad. If you have questions for me or Cad, let us know too. Because this meeting, like, we can answer all these questions via emails and stuff too. Like this particular hangout is so you guys can get to know us and feel comfortable talking to us about anything and everything about interest. Like if you have a question about like video games on YouTube, I know Chad is the ultimate person to go to because he's video game. I mean, we're all video game nerds.
We're all video game nerds. Yeah,
but Chad, if you have roller derby question, ask me.
So Matt asks, are any of you familiar with the YouTube space in LA and New York? And if so, do you know if the facilities would prove useful to animators as opposed to just live action? Matt, great question. We're very familiar and very comfortable about the YouTube space in both LA and New York. I'm sure Chad can talk a little bit about the LA one here in a second.
Yeah, I'll let you guys do New York first.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So the New York space is actually not quite open up to the public just yet, but we will be going there today. They have a monthly happy hour. I think the LA one is much more frequent, actually. But the New York one is just now opening up. They've been doing a lot of renovation. They're making it really big and awesome. You know what? Whenever we go there tonight, I'll double check with a couple of our YouTube people there and make sure, but I'm almost positive that they have the full Adobe suite available for animators to use. So if you guys use Flash, if you guys use After Effects, even if you want to edit your videos in Premiere, they have the full Adobe suite available on a bunch of machines as well as Final Cut. So they have all the software ready for you to use and, rent out the space. You can just go in for free as long as you have a YouTube channel. And sometimes there's a threshold, but in terms of subscribers or views or whatever it may be. But like I said, the New York space is not quite open, but they will be opening in November. So, whenever it's starting to get kind of snowy around here. So that's for the New York space. Chad, if you want to fill us in on the LA space, that would be great.
Yeah, the LA space is super impressive. It's amazingly huge. Actually, I'm surprised to hear, not because I'm surprised because I know YouTube wants to help out, but the LA space, as far as I saw, I actually didn't see too much as far as animation suites and that sort of thing. Maybe it was hidden around in the back and I never got to see that part. It is definitely great for live action stuff, for sure. I would encourage anyone that is in LA around the area, no matter what, to still go and try to make part through things there. I mean, even if you're just looking to shoot like video of yourself talking for end slates, the amount of like facilities and stuff they have available for you, without any sort of like, I'm almost surprised at how little they verify that you're a YouTuber when you go in. They're very cool and open and wanting people to use it, and I've been impressed every time I go in. So while I don't think it has been incredibly strong for animators specifically, that is something that is a good conversation to have with YouTube, and I am wanting to actually do that now. But I encourage people in the LA area to check it out at least. And they also do as well the hangouts. Like they'll do gaming specific or like animation ones, and so you can kind of meet other people in the space. There'll be like free drinks and music and stuff. So you should go.
Yeah, you should definitely go to any of the happy hours, whether it's Los Angeles or New York, because I'm going to say it again, it's a great place to meet people and network and get involved with the YouTube community. Not only just animators, but when you start meeting people who are making YouTube videos, you can pitch them and say, hey, I actually do animation. I'd love to do like an animated video for you and your channel. You know, it doesn't even matter. Maybe they have 10,000 subscribers. That would be a really awesome promotion for your channel and good collaboration opportunity. So go, have free food, have free drinks, meet new people. Okay. Yeah.
They have really good cookies in the LA YouTube space. I will say, really, really good.
I like how Chad's camera is like strobing.
Yeah,
as
like
you like move in and out.
Is it the light?
Is it the light? You're like, it's like we can see you, and then you're shadow. It's like see you in shadow.
It's part of my mystique.
There you go. Perfect. All right. So real quick, there's a question about how the Channel Frederator Network Compendium is doing. For those of you new to the network, the Compendium is going to be a physically printed book of the first 500 creators in our network, and it's going to have like their artwork and a little blurb about their channel and along with really other cool things. So because it's going to be a physically printed book, it's going to take a while to make, unfortunately, especially since it's the first one. So we have a lot of kinks to work out, but once we have that first one finished, finalized, it'll be a lot faster of a process to do volume 2, volume 3, volume 4. Yeah. So we have most of the information and all the artwork compiled and everything. Now it's just putting all, 500 pages up there together.
Yeah. Right now, you know, I've been talking to Fred a lot about it lately. He's really excited. It was his idea initially to do this, and
Fred Seibert loves books.
Yeah, he loves
They're
books. Yeah.
Everywhere.
And so we actually renamed it. I didn't rename it, but Fred came up with the name Codex. So going forward, the compendium will now be referred to as Codex, which is kind of a cool name actually. And so we're currently just going page by page by page, and we're hoping to have a copy out to everyone who is a part of the first 500 by the end of the year, hopefully. Depends how long it's going to take to print and all that sort of stuff. But we're still working on it. Promise we haven't forgot about it.
Yeah, totally. Don't forget about that. Chad, do you know about the Codex?
I didn't know about the name change. I mean, I think it's a cool name.
Codex now.
Yeah. It sounds more high-tech.
Yeah, it sounds super cool.
Let's do the next question. Let's do a small one real quick.
Who's the best Ninja Turtle? Okay, in my opinion, it's Raphael. He's got the most, yes, absolutely. He's got the most character development. You know, he's kind of like the underdog. He's so misunderstood. You know, he's always battling. You know, his brother. There's so much there. I mean, who are you gonna pick? Michelangelo? Don't pick Michelangelo.
Donatello is clearly the best Ninja Turtle.
That's fair. I love them all. I love them all.
Raphael, Jesus.
I can totally pin you for a Donnie guy, by the way. But
yeah.
One of my first costumes ever as a child that I actually got to pick, besides like my mom dressing me up as like Little Bo Peep or something, I picked Leonardo for Ninja Turtles. I was very happy to be a Ninja Turtle.
He's great too. They're all great. It's one of the best things ever.
I beat up my little.
Well, what about the female Ninja Turtle?
Nope, she doesn't exist. She's not canon. The
Venus is the best Ninja Turtle.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I didn't know there was a female Ninja Turtle.
Nope, that's because she doesn't exist. So.
Well, that's a bigger discussion on another day. So there's a quick question from I can never say like
Frederick,
but his like username is like
Robot.
Who also won the Newgrounds animation competition. So congratulations to you.
Nice.
You did really awesome.
Yeah, congrats.
Yeah, it was really, you should see all the stuff he animated under such a short time frame. It was
very
insane.
Cool.
Very talented. Anyway, he asked if we'll be flying people out to MagFest in January.
We wish.
We'd love to. We wish. I don't think we're not even going.
We can't. No.
Yeah. No. We're not going to be flying out anyone, especially everyone, all 800 of you. But it is going to be a really cool place to animators to be, and if you'd like to go, you should totally try to get there. And about events conventions aimed towards animation,
Right.
there is a handy-dandy calendar that I
Right.
have handcrafted in the Google Plus page. If you go to like the main section of the Google Plus community, there is a thing that says tentpole events and calendars, and you can see that link. It links right to a Google Calendar, and it says all the conventions, all the dates. From here to here, all the like live action events, everything that's happening.
Yeah. The biggest ones on the west side, I don't know where you're based out of, the biggest one on the west side I see a lot of people from Los Angeles go to is AnimeCon. Kind of depends on like whatever your interests are. And also CTN is a little bit more of an industry one, but it kind of does half like animation, half like illustrators. It almost feels like Artist Alley for Comic-Con, but just that. It's an interesting one for the industry side.
Yeah, those are both great, and as well as Small Press Expo and Taffy. Those are both also really good.
Okay. So moving on, there's a question, with so many people in the network and so many posts on the page, I'm assuming the community page, how can we find people to communicate, let alone collaborate with?
That's a good question.
Completely agree. The Google Plus page is flooded with posts, which is awesome because that means you're all very active. But it is really hard to navigate. The miracle of Google Plus is not always a miracle. But
that's why for the past couple of months.
Yes.
What, Jen?
Okay.
Go ahead.
We've been developing our own tool called Sphere.
Good setup. Good setup for it.
No, I was just saying. I was like, that was the reveal. That's the first time we've ever mentioned it.
Is it?
I think publicly. I think so.
We have a new tool called Sphere. Oh, I saw it before. Okay.
I don't think we've talked about it ever.
Publicly. Oh, well, we're developing, and it's currently in beta testing. So if you get a special invite from me to beta, please help us work out the kinks of it. It's going to be a network-wide tool, much better than Google Plus, and much more organized.
Yeah, and we're looking for feedback. That's why it's in beta. We want as much feedback as possible. Like, what would be helpful for you? Like, what kind of things do you want to see within this database type? What is it? I call it database, but it's not.
It's almost like forums makes it sound a little too out of date. It's not really forums, but there's aspects of that to it.
It's going to be a place where you guys can communicate. There's going to be forums. There's going to be calendars linked with
built-in analytics.
Yeah, built-in analytics, so it'll break down the YouTube analytics better for you, especially as an animator.
Yeah.
It'll do everything for you.
Yeah, we want to have a place where you can easily communicate with each other in specific threads, in specific topics. So everything's not all in one place like it is right now for the Google Plus.
Yeah.
So you can specifically go, okay, I'm looking for people to collaborate on backgrounds. You can go to that specific section.
Voice actors,
that specific, that sort of thing. And not only that, but we also, we want to think bigger. We want to have sections where people can have all the demo reels, and you can watch each network member's demo reel and say, wow, I like this guy's stuff, I want to get in touch with him. Or the voiceover demo reels, hey, I like this guy's voice, I want to get him in my stuff. So we want to have that kind of feature. There's all sorts of stuff. So any kind of feedback, anything like that, we want to hear it.
Any kind of wish list would be like, boy, it'd be really great if it could do this, which we might not get to right away, but we have a giant list of features that we want Sphere to do in the long run. Including like direct emailing to people without really giving out your email, just to be like, hey, I'd love to work with you, and you already have that step ahead. Instead of going through Cade and Chad and I, you can just email them directly at your own time, and they can respond as well. And there's going to be like a chat feature where you can talk to us and ask us questions through it. We mentioned analytics and the forums, and there's going to be like a thread, because the thing is with the Google Plus, a lot of people self-promote on Google Plus, which is fine and great, because you're all introducing yourselves and you want to post this new video that you did, but that causes a lot of clog up in the community. So we're going to, in Sphere, have its own section like, hey, you want to browse new awesome animation? This is where you're going to post your stuff. So it should hopefully clear up a lot of those concerns.
Cool. Yeah, I'm happy we talked about it. So just know it is a problem we definitely noticed, because the network is getting bigger. So we're trying to make it much easier for you and us to communicate with you and each other. So just know it's in the works, and any feedback is appreciated. Okay, so we don't have much time left. We can run over, I guess.
I'm not going anywhere.
Okay, all right, fair. Well, I have to go to the YouTube thing here in a little bit, but so that question's answered. But let's see, what do you want to answer next?
Who's your favorite Pokemon?
Oh, let's do that.
Umbreon.
Do a quick lightning round on some of these.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm gonna forget his name. I need to know. Venipede.
Where did the hell
Venipede? Really? Why?
Venipede's just super adorable, and he's got those kind of like eyes, like he doesn't really care.
Adorable?
He's not adorable.
Venipede is super adorable. He's got a little pill bug body. Oh, the best.
What are you talking about?
Venipede, man. This is how it always works. I play Pokemon, I get a bug starter, and he's my real
I
starter.
commend you for being very original.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Charmander.
Oh, starter. Sorry, Umbreon's not starter.
Oh, we can do both. No, we do both. Venipede is my unofficial starter. I just get him, and then I just play the game with him.
Charmander's probably both starter and favorite in general.
Really?
I mean, I like a bunch of other ones, but Charmander's probably one. Probably mostly based on nostalgia value, I'm sure. Starter, come on.
I'm thinking. I really like
Finnegan.
Torchic.
Okay.
Torchic? Okay.
That's super cute. Because also he was really cute in the anime too.
Yeah.
Which helps. Yeah. So, okay. Cade, pick the next question. Can you guys do a dance? No.
Oh, we can do this one with us. What do you think about the new 3DS? I think it's great. I'm so happy they're adding the little other nub thing. Unfortunately, I don't want to spend the money to buy it until there's a game that I really want for it. But
Zelda.
it seems kind of cool. Yeah.
I just bought an XL, so why do I... Oh.
What?
I just bought a 3DS XL a couple months ago, and now there's a new one. I'm real sad.
It's okay. They won't have games, for it. It's not even announced for America yet, anyways. You have some time. Don't worry.
Still real sad.
Mr. Chambers says, what do you guys think about 2D versus 3D? Do you still see a market for 2D animators in the future, or should we try 3D? That's a good question.
I honestly, I personally love 2D over 3D.
Yeah, I don't think 2D animation. I think 2D animation will definitely always be around. You know, I think it always has a place.
I think right now in traditional film, 3D is definitely the hip thing, and there will always be changes and stuff, and you're gonna start people doing more hybrid things. But I think on the YouTube side, I think it's stronger at 2D actually, just the nature of it. But they both have a place. I guess it kind of depends. If you want to be a professional film animator, it would probably be wise to have some 3D experience in your portfolio. But I think 2D will always have a place. Also stop motion, because stop motion is the best type of animation.
Okay.
Stop motion animation?
Stop motion is my favorite. I just want more people to do stop motion. That's all. I know it's super hard to do.
Yeah, stop motion is great.
And they're very, very good. Do you want to answer that question, or you want to do it?
Oh, sure. Go ahead. Select. Okay. All right, another question. What's the best thing to do to get re-uploads or Facebook shares from the network? So re-uploads, if you're talking about Tuesday or Saturday morning cartoons. So as you know, like I said, we have lots of members of the network. We have pretty much a list, or if you want to think of it more like a queue of a bunch of channels and people's animations that we want to get out there on Tuesday and Saturday morning cartoons. So if you think you have a good cartoon that you think was a good fit for promotion on the Channel Frederator YouTube channel, send it along to Jen or myself or Chad, and then we'll pass it along to our promotions team, and then they'll put it in the queue as long as they feel like it will be a good fit for the channel.
Yeah, we can't do nothing that's too inappropriate, because we have a really wide audience.
Mm-hmm.
It has to has to be a certain length.
Sure.
There's a few other small metrics,
right.
But everyone is definitely open to submit, and we want to host as many people. We also so that's Tuesday, and you also mentioned Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah, both of those. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Facebook shares from the network, Facebook shares or likes or comments or whatever, are much easier for us to do instead of re-uploading to YouTube. So just send your video along my way, Cad's way, which is Chad and Cade, and yeah, we can definitely look into promoting it for you. That being said, we can't really promote everything, if it's inappropriate or 18 and over rated, it might be a little bit harder for us to promote, but it's definitely just send your stuff our way, and we'll take a look, and we'll slot it in the best promotion slots for you guys. Yeah, I mean, the only way we're going to know that you guys are putting out new content is if you let us know. So say, hey, I just uploaded a new video, I'm really proud of it, it'd be cool if you promoted it, so if it's something that you're feeling really strongly about, you really want to give a lot of love to, let us know. So just, and definitely keep in mind, because if you say you make a cartoon every single day, I would definitely, great if you can do that, but send us your best stuff, because we're gonna promote what you send us pretty much, but it should be your best work, because if you keep sending me a link every single day, we're only gonna pick one or two to promote, and it's gonna be weeks apart, because we have to spread the wealth between everyone in the network. So definitely like keep in mind what you're sending us is going to best represent you. So when it finally goes out to all of our subscribers, they're going to immediately fall in love with all your stuff.
Yeah, totally. Good answer. Anything else to add to that, Chad? You want to keep going?
I mean, I was going to say, like, just kind of thinking even, like, wider-ranging stuff. It's not just about being appropriate at certain levels, but, like, if you're doing, let's say, like, an animated series, an ongoing story, like, which of those is the most easy to get into if you've never seen any of them before? Like, it's harder to promote episode, like, 9 of an ongoing series than, like, the first one of a new thing. Just basic stuff like that is good to think about.
It's quick.
What?
It's quick.
I did click on.
Okay, well, you want to go ahead?
This one?
Yeah, sure. A little fast. Will any of the cool events you guys are talking about ever come to Canada? Potentially, not in the immediate future, but potentially.
It's too cold in Canada.
No, hopefully, you never know. You really never know.
Done. Okay.
Will the codex be on sale at stores or just released to network members? Actually, I think it will be available online as an ebook. So
you can download that and then print it out. If you like, but I don't think it's going to be in stores, at least not yet.
I don't think it will be in stores, but I think you'll be able to buy it online.
Yes. But if you are a member of the network and you are in the book, the first 500 for Volume 1, we will send you a free book to you guys. So you don't need to buy it online.
Correct.
You want to answer that question?
You want to tackle that one? You might as well. +4.
Okay. This is a big question. Are you ready, Chad? Okay.
Oh, yeah, I saw that one. I was ready to answer it.
All right, you ready?
Oh, great.
Go for it.
I mean, I'm not like Macho Man WWE ready, but
no, I think you're right.
We'll see.
Right. The question from Mr. Chambers of it has been made very public how horrible animation is for YouTube. Do you guys have any new plans or strategies? I assume you meant about this or against this, or maybe against this. Against this, yeah.
I think it's against this.
About?
No,
either. I guess either works.
Yeah.
It's a difficult thing to say and not make YouTube feel bad, and that the way their algorithm has been set up for a while, that it's definitely punished people doing like longer content that takes longer to put up. There's multiple ways that we've been trying to help. There's basic stuff like strategies and sort of things like that, which even before I came, like I'm sure Jen and Cade I saw have been like recommending in terms of finding new formats to intersperse. Honestly, I think it also affects individual people. There's some general advice you can give, but I think like based on the type of content you make, even across just animators, of how you can do to also play better with the algorithm. But also the side of like our animation network is the idea of Frederator is to try to help like get the most attention and attraction to your guys' stuff in between those gaps, even if you are just going to do like a monthly upload. Well, I wish I could go into specifics, but like I know that like everyone who has connections to YouTube, us involved, like we try to talk to YouTube and like make them aware of the current plight of animation. And that makes it sound bad to say plight, but the idea of like what's going on and express our concerns and make sure they get a lot of love. And there's also strategies to try to play with it too, like the idea, for example, that if you look at like YouTube, what to watch anymore, like the main categories, animation isn't really a featured one anymore, or like movies are, and like gaming and comedy are, and kind of like, okay, so this is what YouTube seems to be prioritizing, so like let's play best to YouTube's game, so to speak, and find ways to like promote your video. So maybe that new cartoon you make that happens to be about Pokemon, you don't put in animation, you put it in gaming, and like kind of playing with YouTube ways that way.
Right. Yeah.
But I know it's something that YouTube on their side is they've said is something they care about and want it to work, and we're trying to give as much feedback as we can to make it work for you guys. And then while they are fixing that sort of thing, make it as most successful as possible. I hope that's a good answer. I don't know if Jen or Cade do anything.
It was a really good answer, and I like that you said we're trying to give as much feedback as possible, because I was just going to say we've been very vocal. We've been very vocal with YouTube in terms of like how they're treating the animation category and how they're presenting it in general, and even like the changes they've made in the algorithm. I mean, YouTube is YouTube. I'll just leave it at that, I guess. But again, consistency is very important, and coming up with creative solutions in terms of developing content that you can post on a consistent basis. And I think the one thing I think I would try and recommend is try to get comfortable in front of the camera, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of animators don't feel comfortable being on camera or anything like that, but you know, it's an easy way to start getting other content out there. And you know, maybe it's a topic for another future live stream where we can eat up more time, but that's another thing that's been on our mind. You know, especially since we have an owned and operated animation channel, right? So it's something that we've been talking about a lot. So.
And from the idea because it features more frequency of uploads where you can get together with fellow animators and combine your animations onto one channel and then like split the revenue however you see fit. But then that way you don't have to come up with an animated piece of content every week or every day, but like the 5 of you together will have an animated piece of content every week, and you only have to produce once every 5 weeks or something like that. So that's an idea that we've been throwing around and telling people that if you're interested to hop on that and make those collaborative efforts now, we are more than welcome to help tie people together. But like Cade said, we are very vocal with YouTube. We get in touch with actual people from YouTube, not just robots, all the time, and we are fighting on your behalf and on our behalf because we're an animation studio too.
I'm going to see them today.
Yeah, he's gonna go see him today.
In like 20 minutes.
I have to go to practice, but and we're gonna be like, hey, this is really stupid, and this is why it's really stupid.
But we're gonna be nice to them.
And to add off again what Kate's saying, I think while we like to try to give as much general advice as possible, again, I think some of it applies on individual bases. I think some animators, some of you should totally do like vlogs and share parts of your life. I think some of you guys, like, it should be better to like show your techniques and do behind the scenes stuff. And for some of you guys, maybe you can do like sci kind of animation type formats. It really depends on whatever your strengths are. And finding those, and also working on like the way Kate's talking about like getting good at a camera is, again, this is a huge topic for probably another conversation, but just the idea of the stronger your channel will be, the more that like your channel is your personality and your identity. So it's not just a upload hub for your cartoons. Does that make sense? Like the more you can do that sort of thing and make it feel like it's your channel, the better off you'll be. I know it's a big conversation topic.
It is, and I love to keep it going, but whenever. I think everyone else can be prepared with more questions about it and more time.
What I would like to know from you guys is, was this hangout between the 3 of us helpful? Did you like it? Would you like us to do more in the future? Like maybe, I don't know, once a month, once every other month?
Yeah, totally.
Something. I mean, we're totally fine to do this. And I enjoy these conversations and talking with all you people.
Opening up the floor. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, it is really good. We had a fun time. We did run a little long, and I know Cade has to run to talk and go over to the YouTube space.
We should just do a lightning round on the rest of these, maybe.
A lightning round?
Yeah, just like
okay. I like it.
Is that cool? Everyone cool with that?
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Okay.
Quick,
so,
from the top.
Yeah,
from the top.
From the very top, okay. Cloudy with Chance of Meatballs is one of my favorite movies, so I was happy to see Fred doing stuff with Sony Pictures. Will we see more fun stuff with big studios like that? Frederick, there's not a lot we can say, but obviously Fred has connections with everyone in the animation industry. So of course, we hope that opportunities like that sort of stuff happens. Can't make any promises.
Lightning round.
But yes,
Move on.
we want to do stuff like that, of course. We'll see.
Chad, answer the next one.
Next one is, how is the book organized? Which I actually don't know, so I'm just going to assume that we randomly took all the pictures and put them in a giant slot machine and randomly assembled them. That's what I'm going to assume how it was built.
Lightning round answer. No, I believe, yes, the next one would be the next 500. We haven't quite figured it out yet because we're still working on the first one.
Correct.
But we probably won't double up for a while.
Right, yeah, but we want to do, I think we want to do more going forward.
Yeah. Where the giant puppy cat, hold on, wait.
Where did the giant puppy cat come from? I swear I didn't see it earlier. Well, now you see a bunch.
Oh, man, there's so many. It's like the trouble with triples, that Star Trek episode.
If you are not being Puppy Cat Kickstarter backer, you will not be getting one. Well, you've had to like.
You have to do it more. Yeah, just to turn it more.
So, sorry.
Lightning round. If you feel another animation from your channel is best suited than the one promoted, what would be the best way to go about it? Easy. Typically before Saturday morning or Tuesday goes up, we'll notify you ahead of time, and we'll say, hey, we really like your animation, blah blah blah. We want to promote on Tuesday. Just a heads up, it's going to be blah blah, uploaded on this day, blah blah blah. From there, you say, hey, actually, I think this one would be a better fit, and we'd go, hey, maybe you're right, and then if not, we'd be like, hey, actually, we think this one is a better fit because, so there will be some discussion there beforehand. So just be open about it. Let us know. That's why. Favorite animal-themed Disney movie? Lion King. Mine's Lion King. That was my answer. Yes?
Fox and the Hound.
Bible Goes West, American Tail, even though it's not Disney. Don Bluth.
Doesn't count.
Okay, I like this one. What do you think is the best way to optimize an in-slate?
Have you been to my YouTube Best Practice Hangouts? And if not, I will tell you on those.
Yeah.
Because I go over end slates and YouTube annotations and all this crazy stuff. So definitely check out the YouTube Best Practice Hangout, everyone, because you'll get the answers to those questions.
But a quick answer would be?
A quick answer, okay. Very simply designed. You give them one or two big choices, which is we mostly choose subscribe and watch the next video. It has to be long enough for people to click on. It has to have some sort of movement, animation to keep people interested. It has to have sound, even if it's just like slight music playing underneath.
And
explaining what the actual videos you're driving to are is pretty good instead of just a random video thumbnail.
And a very clear call to action.
Clear call to action.
Well, you didn't say clear call to action.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
Well.
Great. No, it's a good answer. Okay, let's see. How do I get a giant puppy cat? You back the Kickstarter.
Which was already.
Or you can go to Squishable. I think they're available.
Yeah.
These are the limited edition ones.
Because these have the special little matte signature on them. These are the special Kickstarter ones that you can no longer buy anymore because you missed out on the Kickstarter thing.
Just making them feel bad.
Yeah, they should feel bad.
And Sam says for a feature, how about a weekly or daily draw share on Facebook or Twitter for the Watch Me Draw folks? So for the speed painters and how to draw people. We'll talk to Kirsten about maybe trying to experiment with something like that on social media. And, I think having Kirsten on a future live stream or hangout would be really good for everyone in the network because there's a lot of questions like how do I get featured on Facebook or how do I do all this? I think having Kirsten on in a future one.
Kirsten is our social media coordinator.
Correct, yeah. So having her on, I think, would be really beneficial. Maybe we'll do a meet Kirsten, meet our social media person type question.
She's awesome and from New Zealand, so it makes her even more awesome.
So, yes, sorry, I'm just reading some of the questions. So we got Louie and Riley chiming in, saying thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I think it's wrap up time, basically. Thank you guys for all the awesome questions. We had tons of them. Thank you for watching and listening to us. Hopefully we answered your questions. And again, if you want to see more of this, you want to see us do this again, let us know.
Yeah. Email me at jennifer@frederator.com, Cade at Cade@frederator.com, and Chad at Frederator.com.
Yep.
Easy to remember. You can talk to each of us about anything. We are your community managers, and we are very happy to be your community managers.
Absolutely.
I love this job. It's awesome.
Anything to add, Chad?
Just that I hope the internet wasn't too bad connections from my side, and I've already been digging in and getting to know a bunch of the channels in the network, but I look forward to seeing the rest of your stuff. Please, guys, email me, send me out some stuff. Love to start talking to you guys about animation. So.
Great.
And don't acknowledge that Monty Python reference question.
True.
All right. So you guys, I think coming up there is Cade social media best practices next week. So definitely look in the events section in the Google Plus community to check that out. And then next month I'll make a whole nother. There's 2 social media a month and 2 YouTube practices a month, and then 1 live stream. If you have any ideas on other live streams you'd like to see beyond just us talking, we can try to facilitate other bigger animators or studios, or I really want to get Eric on another one. I thought that was great. But if there's anything in particular you want us to talk about or go over, let us know and we can make that live stream happen. We are doing that Pokemon big collaboration coming up, so please look for information in the community about the Pokemon collab. That's going to be due a few weeks before November 21st for the Omega and Alpha and Omega release. And
great.
We'll have a great weekend.
Yeah, that's it. Awesome.
That's it.
Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
Soon. See you on the internet. Bye-bye.
See you around. Bye. Goodbye.